I've had a couple of requests to explain counter steering, and so I thought I'd do a bit of a demonstration. But before I actually do this demonstration, let's head over to my twin AD for an explanation. So AD, over to you.
Thanks AD. So let's talk about the principle of counter steering and when counter steering happens and when it doesn't happen. So counter steering doesn't happen at really slow speeds, speeds of probably about less than 10 miles an hour. And the reason is, you'll know this if you've ever ridden a bicycle. If you're going really slow, if for example I want to turn left, I will turn the bars to the left and that will steer me around to the left. But when I start to get up to a speed above 10 miles an hour and any speed beyond that, I can't just turn the bars to the left, because there's a couple of key forces that's going to try to prevent me from turning left. One of those forces is centrifugal force. It's the motion of the wheels that's spinning. My whole mass of me and the bike that's driving forward is going to want to keep me driving forward. It's going to want to stop me from going around a corner. But the other force is centrifugal force. If you've ever been at a fairground and you've dropped one of those coins into a machine where it spins around the bowl for ages before it drops into the middle, that's centrifugal force keeping that coin around the edge of the bowl. And it's the same on a bike. Because I'm going fast, I want to go left, but that force is pushing me to the outside of the corner. So in order to counteract those two forces, I need to do two things. I need to lean into the corner to counteract the centrifugal force, and that also helps push my tyres into the ground. And I need to counter steer. Now counter steering happens whether you realise it's happening or not, simply because of the geometry of the bike and how it works. But ultimately it's a good skill to learn, because it can help you get out of trouble really fast if you need to change direction really quickly in an emergency, or if you're just getting a lick on and you come up to a bend and you don't need to slow down too much, then you can use a little bit of counter steering to help initiate that turn. So what is counter steering? Very, very simple, as the title suggests. It is steering in the opposite direction to which way you want to turn. So in this case, I want to turn left, so the bars will turn to the right, or I'll turn the bars to the right. And what that does, to give a very quick demonstration, if I turn the bars to the right and then I'll let go of the bike, it's going to fall to the left. If I turn the bars to the left and let go of the bike, it's going to fall to the right. And that basically is counter steering. It's only to initiate the turn, however. When you're in the turn, you don't hold the bars to the right, because then the bike is really unstable. Initially, you just push on the inside bar. So I want to go left. I'm going to push on the left bar slightly to turn the bars ever so slightly to the right. That's going to initiate the turn, and then the wheel will straighten up again and I'll head around that corner. Same with the right. I want to go right. I'll push slightly on the right bar. The bike will lean to the right. This front wheel looks like it's going to go left, but the bike will lean to the right. It will come back into line, and then I'll go around the turn. That basically is counter steering. But counter steering, and we'll go back to the demonstration video in a second, is a very, very subtle, very, very small input. And it's not pushing down, it's pushing forward. Very, very small and very, very subtle input. So that basically is counter steering. Now, back to the demonstration. Over to you, AD.
Okay, so counter steering, as AD said, thank you AD, I know I'm a dickhead. So yeah, counter steering, as he explained, is basically pushing the inside bar forward so that the bars turn in the opposite direction in which you want to lean. So for example, if I now push the right hand bar and it's just a gentle push, you'll see the bike leans to the right. If I push the left hand bar, you will see that the bike leans to the left. Now what you might not be able to see, because it's very, very subtle, is the the steering actually changing. So if I over exaggerate it for a second, and just as a reminder, this is an over exaggeration, I will steer to the left ever so slightly before leaning right. So here goes. So you might have seen that, and again I am over exaggerating that. So you might have seen the very quick steer in the opposite direction. So I'm going to lean to the right, but it'll very quickly and very briefly steer to the left. I hope you can see that on the camera. Try and point that down. So once more, I'm going to lean to the right, but it will very quickly steer to the left as I push the inside handlebar forward, not down, forward. So a very quick lean like that, see? And the bike steers. So that basically is counter steering, and as explained earlier, it is a very subtle movement when you're riding on the road. You don't need to put huge amounts of force into the bars. You don't need to over exaggerate it. You don't need to push with all your might. It is literally a very gentle push. So next time you're out riding, you know, find somewhere quiet. I mean, the traffic's a little bit heavy here, but find somewhere quiet and just practice just pushing on the bars a little bit, and just see that your bike will start to steer. And like we say, it is helpful to know, because intentionally counter steering can really help you to change direction in an emergency, or very quickly if you have to. But like I said earlier, folks, the bike will not lean without counter steering anyway. So counter steering will always happen whether you realise it's happening or not, because that's how bike geometry works. So it happens, and it's useful to know. Thank you. And it's useful to know about, because it can come in handy when you need it. So I'll just demonstrate one more time. So I'm going to lean to the left, so I'm going to push on the inside bar, the left bar, just a gentle push, and the bike leans to the left. Same with the right, I'm going to lean to the right, I'm going to push gently on the inside bar, the right bar, and the bike leans to the right. That, friends, is counter steering.